Even if this show is bad, even if Obi-Wan Kenobi sucks, even if it sucks bantha balls, I cannot wait for it.
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Now, as far as the next thing I want to talk about, it's of course one of my most anticipated shows of all time, Obi-Wan Kenobi. What can we expect? Well, we have some new quotes, some words from our actors. Sung Kang, most recently announced actors joining the cast for Obi-Wan Kenobi. And ever since that was announced, people have been speculating what could his role potentially be in this TV show. Well, recently he said some stuff that I think would make an interesting discussion on what that could actually be. So here's a quote from Sung Kang, recently addressed. He said, "I used to dress in a cheap Kmart plastic Halloween costume of Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader almost every single day from 8 to 13 years old. My friends and I would play pretend. We'd make our own lightsabers out of, toilet paper centers and stuff like that. To be able to be on set and see Darth Vader and to see Star Wars universe in front of me, just as a fan, to be a part of this history is pretty amazing. I kept pinching myself going, how did I end up here? And my character has a lightsaber, and it's not a toy. It's an actual, real thing." So obviously he's talking about his experience being on set. We do know a couple things. One, he meets Darth Vader at some point, or shares a scene with Darth Vader. And number two, he wields a lightsaber. We've talked about this in the past, and we've speculated on what this could mean. But I want to take another step further. The big question is he a Jedi, or is he an Inquisitor? At least that's what most people are saying. But I want to throw out one other potential thing that he could possibly be. Well, a lot of people speculate that he is going to be an Inquisitor. I can see that being a potential because this is a time period well pronounced that it was featuring Inquisitors. I mean, Darth Vader himself had hired a bunch of them to hunt down the remaining Jedi. But here is my speculation onto what he could be if he was a Jedi. There was a Jedi named A'Sharad Hett, who was actually a native to Tatooine. He was born there, and he was actually raised and lived among Tusken Raiders. His family, his mother and father, were both living on Tatooine, living amongst the Tusken Raiders, and actually joined their clan and would dress up like them. And then they had this kid named A'Sharad Hett. His father's name was just Shed Hett. And this is a picture for those of you watching online. He was featured in the comic books, and he's notoriously known for having a duel with Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine. Now, and other facts about A'Sharad, are the fact that he used to be a Jedi of the Republic back in the Republic days. And then once the Empire took over, he actually went into hiding because of Order 66. However, he did survive Order 66. But shortly through that time of the original trilogy, he actually stayed in hiding. And then when Darth Sidious fell from power in Return of the Jedi, he actually took over that throne and became the new Emperor. He readdressed himself as Darth Krayt, and he turned Sith. Actually turned into a Darth Lord of the Sith, Darth Krayt, which we can elaborate more on later. Now, that's one expansion, one narrative of his storyline. But we do know back before Disney, there was tons of different outlines and different storylines for characters, and one of which it was him becoming the Emperor after Return of the Jedi. But there was another storyline which is more popular and featured in the comics, and it was that he actually battled Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine after sensing the presence of Luke Skywalker, and that he was protecting Luke Skywalker. Now, what's funny is if you guys are watching on the video platform, you can see the photo of this picture from the comics. And what's funny is this Obi-Wan in this comic strip actually looks a lot like Chris Evans from Avengers Endgame. I just wanted to point that out. I think that's kind of hilarious. But so this is the most popular storyline for A'Sharad Hett, and one that most of you probably know the best. And I actually wrote my own Obi-Wan Kenobi fan fiction years ago, before they ever announced that they were doing a show themselves. And it did feature A'Sharad Hett. I don't know why I keep messing up that name. And in my story, he actually joined forces with Obi-Wan Kenobi. But in the canonical canon, Marvel canon line, he was actually an enemy to Obi-Wan. So he sensed force presence of Luke Skywalker and wanted to turn him into Darth Vader. because he also sensed the presence of a kin to the great Anakin Skywalker. And there's another backstory about him where he feels guilty and he feels like he is personally responsible for the death of the Jedi and the fall of the Republic. He's a very interesting character, lots of dynamics to him. And I think Sung Kang being A'Sharad Hett in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series would not only be probable, but this would be absolutely intense, and it would be incredible, and this would be like a dream come true. It would literally be the fan fiction that I wrote myself about this Obi-Wan Kenobi series. If you're watching the video form, you can see on the right side of the screen is a picture of Darth Krayt in his full form, in his final form as a Dark Lord of the Sith. And of course, on the left is Sung Kang. Now, I think this would be a great match. Personally, I've never seen Sung Kang in anything before. I know he's famous for the Fast and Furious movies, but I have not watched them. And what's funny is he played a character Han in those movies. But anyway, this would be a fantastic, fantastic addition to Kenobi. One, it makes sense because we do know his character has a lightsaber. Number two, we know that he has interactions with Darth Vader in at least one scene in this TV show. And what is also great about this edition is it would open up way more possibilities for other TV shows, spin-offs, and possibly even an Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2. Guys, I can't express to you enough how much potential this series has. Not even talking about Obi-Wan himself. Not even talking about that character. Just the world around it. Tatooine itself has so much history and there's so much going on there. And it bringing back Vader and Hayden and all this kind of stuff. This show is going to be... Not only did Sung Kang have some things to say about Obi-Wan, also Ewan McGregor had some to say about his upcoming series. So check this out. Ewan McGregor was recently at the Emmys. He won an award for his portrayal of, I think it's called Halston, which is a show about a fashion designer. I'm actually really wanting to watch it. I just haven't had time yet, but anyway, congratulations, Ewan. You won another Emmy. Maybe it's his first one. I don't know. Regardless, congrats. But while he was being interviewed after receiving his award, they asked him about Obi-Wan Kenobi. And they asked him about, what his time was like there and how the process is going. Well, a couple of the things that he said was, one, they finished shooting Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is wrapped. It's over. They finished shooting the whole thing. Deborah Chow is working in post-production. They're editing the process right now. But he said he had a great time. He loved the technology that they were using. He said it was a completely different and reinventive type of way of working on Star Wars than it was 15 years ago when he did The Phantom Menace. He loved the technology. And he also said that he thinks that this will not disappoint fans. Now, of course, Star Wars fans, anytime we get the slightest bit of any kind of words from our actors, we run with it as major headlines, right? This isn't a major headline. We know that this story has been worked on for the past 7 years. And Ewan McGregor has been signed on to do it for 7 years. But they did not greenlight it until they had the story down perfect. So of course it's not going to disappoint. Even if this show is bad, even if Obi-Wan Kenobi sucks, even if it sucks bantha balls, seeing Ewan back as Obi-Wan, seeing Hayden back as Anakin and Darth Vader, that won't disappoint. It doesn't disappoint me. I mean, this show is going to be great. And of course, Ewan McGregor is excited about it. And he's talking about it, and everyone else is getting pumped. So I want to know what you guys think about Obi-Wan Kenobi. What do you think about my theory about Sung Kang portraying Darth Krayt and or A'Sharad Hett in this series? Maybe you have another theory, but I would like to hear that. Just comment in the comment section or down below, or shoot me a message on social media and we'll talk about it.